Welcome to the HireTruckers podcast, the show for fleet executives, HR leaders, and recruiting professionals. I'm your host, Aaron Craddock.
And I'm your host, Aaron Craddock. Each week we share actionable insights, market trends, and proven strategies to help you grow and thrive. Welcome to the HireTruckers podcast. And I'm your host, Aaron Craddock. So today I just wanted to hop in here and talk a little bit about vision requiring attention. So this last week, we got together with my team in Austin, Texas. And so we had everyone on the team fly in and many of their spouses. We had one of our advisors come in and we spent some great time together. And it was a magical time together. And so we met at the Driscoll. So that's a historic hotel, a lot of really cool history if you want to look it up, built back by a cattle baron a long time ago. And anyway, it's just a super inspiring space. And I wanted to bring the team there and just them be in a space that they're inspired and encouraged and enable them to set some intentions and have a little bit of vision. And so while we were there, one of the exercises we did on day 2 when we got together was we took some time and we went over our company Vivid Vision. And so what that is it's based on Cameron Herold's book, The Vivid Vision. And we wrote that. We wrote our initial one like 6 years ago. And this one was our most recent iteration. And it's a 3-page vision talking about every detail of where the business is. You set that 3 years out. And so everything from culture to how we serve our clients and who we work with, 3 pages of detail. And so one of the things that I hadn't read the vision in 6 months or so. And so as we all sat there around the table reading it, as we were together as a team, I was just struck by us having that meeting and the way it was set up was actually in the vision, like word for word. Like I had forgotten that I'd put in there that we would do an event once a year where spouses were included, where it's kind of like a reset time to envision, and that we would be around good, true, and beautiful, like inspiring places. And so like literally we got to the end of that and several people kind of chuckled like, hey, this is actually in the vision. As a team, it was a cool moment thinking about what's transpired the last few years and just being together in Austin in person as our team is all over the country. And we realized we were sitting inside the vision. I thought a lot about vision and intention coming out of that meeting and even there just encouraging the team to set intention and set vision for their own lives. And vision requires margin, environment, and intention. And so what I did with the schedule while we were there is we only met for 3 hours a day. And so most of the time was free. Day 1 was with the spouses. And then day 2, when we met, just our team, our core team, and an advisor. And having that space, and I encouraged the team to do some creative exercises like with colored pencils and a sketch pad and just really be creative and think outside the box towards what they want out of their lives personally and professionally. And so the funny thing is, so we were at the Driscoll. So I booked this back in October of last year for our team to get together and have been doing stuff, planning it when we get there. And so picture the Driscoll as this historic hotel. Like I knew they were doing renovations, but I didn't know the extent. So I had walked in there 2 weeks earlier and the lobby was still open, the grand columns and marble and historic paintings. And we walk in and all of that is walled off and there's construction going on, just banging. And when we were checking in reception, I was like, hey, how long have these walls been up? Because I was picturing our team being able to sit and do these exercises in the lobby and be inspired. So all the artwork that was inspiring was down. There were walls up blocking most of the columns. They had already blocked off some other historic areas of the hotel. Anyway, it was kind of funny. And I think, and the analogy I gave when we met with the team, I was like, guys, now we don't have a spot, not as many spots to sit and be inspired. But I was like, that's much like building a company in that you have all these aspirations and you think it'll look a certain way. And then there are all these challenges. And so I thought it was just a good metaphor for the journey of building companies. Lots of ups and downs, but it's still beautiful underneath. Our team, they all had a great mindset. So that's my insight around vision requiring margin, environment, and intention.
Hiring CDL drivers isn't about more leads. It's about better ones. That's why serious carriers partner with HireTruckers by Trucking Clicks. We don't sell ads. We bring clear strategy, straight talk, and a relentless focus on quality drivers. Even in a tough market, our clients see improved performance month over month by optimizing smarter and making every hiring dollar work harder. For honest insight, sharper targeting, and results that you can trust, visit truckingclicks.com or call 512-982-0816. Hire Truckers by Trucking Clicks. Clarity, courage, results.
What changed for me? A clear vision requires more than I realized, like in terms of just the work you have to put into it. I think it was 5 or 6 years ago when I read Cameron Herold's book, The Vivid Vision. I'd had a few friends that had written out their vision for their companies or their lives, and they'd seen a lot of it come true. And these were crazy big visions to build amazing companies or design their life and lifestyle a certain way. And then over the 3 years, they saw a lot of that come to reality. And so so I set goals, and then I 10x'd those goals in the vision just to think outside the box and stretch myself. And so the biggest thing with that is clarity. As you set your vision, like, creates momentum, and then that direction that you have boosts your motivation. And so you have to, in order to have the motivation to like improve your recruiting department, or if you're the head of a transportation company, to really drive cultural change and things like that, you have to know where you're going. You don't just stumble there. None of it happens by accident. So where I'd gotten that wrong, just again, like going further back, Aaron, 10 years ago, I mean, I was about 100 pounds overweight, miserable, unhealthy. I was having some success at work, but just so many areas, I was just kind of going through the motions and didn't really have a vision of where I wanted to go. Without that urgency and intention, I just ended up miserable, overweight, and didn't have the motivation to keep performing at my highest level. And so I, certain years I was hitting it on all cylinders and doing a great job. And then other years, just time was still passing, but I wasn't growing. Time moves forward, whether you're intentional or not. And so just remember that. We all have the same amount of time. Are you going to be intentional with it or not? I've avoided clarity in my life because of the fear of falling short. And what I've learned over the years is as I've done the hard work and set that clarity and set that vision, whether it's in my health, whether it's in my relationship with my wife, our kids, our boys, I'm gonna fall short. Like, I'm not gonna hit all the goals perfectly if I'm setting them high and dreaming big and trying to live with intention. But as I'm failing and missing some of those objectives, I'm learning. And so I was hesitant, like when I look back on it, and honestly, I still struggle with it now, setting my intention, my word for the year this year. And so it's something I'm still working at, and there's some sort of resistance at times towards putting pen to paper, setting those goals, getting clear. And I think the biggest thing, because then I have to be accountable to that. And what if I fall short? Because I want to crush every goal perfectly, flawlessly, but it doesn't happen. And it's really the growth in who you become from setting the intentions and setting the goals. Like that's what it's all about. I want to be a different person next year than I am today, and keep growing. Avoiding vision doesn't protect you. You're not even going to notice the opportunities to grow, or that could be like who you want to be or how you want to show up or what you want to build. You're not going to notice those if you don't have clear vision, clear intention. So if you look back at our vivid vision from 5 or 6 years ago, when we did our first one, like, so much of that is reality today in terms of who we have on the team, who our clients are, how our client success team operates, how we show up in the market, like how we're viewed in the market, what type of clients we want to partner with. And it's just amazing. Like, have fun at work and do it like with people we enjoy working with. Like that was one of my principles. And like anything from like how we show up, how we conduct ourselves in meetings, how we what our offices are like where our offices are, how we're set up, like that was all designed and is all a reality now based on literally just creating a vision and putting it on paper and then executing towards that. And so not every goal, like every year we hit annual goals, like whether it be a growth goal or I hit, I set personal goals and family goals and team goals, and sometimes we crush them in some areas and sometimes we miss them. The cool thing is when you look back, so we look back on our goals and intentions and words, like as a team from, year 2 of the company, year 3 of the company, year 4 of the company, year 5 of the company. Like when you look back on that, like sometimes we hit, like let's say the growth goal, like we hit it 2 years later or 6 months later, or sometimes we crush it. And then same thing like with health goals, like I may not have hit them in year 1. Like I didn't lose 100 pounds immediately. Like it was over 5 years. And so I set different goals, failed forward, but again, failed forward. But I've just found doing these exercises and doing the hard work, putting pen to paper, being creative, I've usually hit it later, but they still happen. It might be the next year, but I mean, years can go by really fast. It says in scripture, like in the Bible, that our life is like a vapor, like here today, gone the next. And so I think, we just need to live with intention and set, and vision requires intention. And so my life is better because I'm becoming the person capable of carrying the vision. So again, my life is better because I'm becoming the person capable of carrying the vision. And so when I set even my first vivid vision for Craddock Holdings, Trucking Clicks, HireTruckers, before Trucking Clicks and HireTruckers existed, and they were birthed out of the vision. And when I set that, I knew that the Aaron that was writing that couldn't do that. Like in terms of would that Aaron be able to get the right clients? Would that Aaron be able to get the right talent on board that we would need? Because we need the best of the best in the industry, like the best developers, the best client success people, the best people managing accounts, the best developers, engineers. Like we need the best to build our vision, to be the best that we can be. And so I knew that Aaron had to become a different person, like for people to want to come within that vision and be a part of it. And so that's what keeps me coming back. That's what keeps me growing, is even the Aaron today isn't the Aaron that I need to be. Like I need new emotional intelligence skills. I need new leadership skills. I need to continue to grow just in health and how I show up and my habits and intentions and disciplines. And, but that's just so powerful and encouraging. And so is it worth the hard work of setting intentions? Like whether it's for your department, your team, your family, your health, your business, if you're a business owner, is it worth the work of putting the pen to paper and knowing, facing your fears of where you might fall short, and even being like, I don't even know how we would possibly achieve this. Like, are you willing to set a vision and intention without knowing how you get there? Because that's where the real growth happens. Like, and so I would just encourage all of you to just set goals and intentions and words and that are just outside of what you think you can do. And more than anything, just start with where you want to be. And so the cost of no clarity. So the cost of not doing what I'm proposing that you do today and what we just did with our team is missed opportunities, lost momentum, no new disciplines, and the pain of not doing what you know you could do, or not being who you know you could be. Or maybe there's a chance you can try that thing or grow in that way. is it just becomes great. And so the cost, one of the other costs of no clarity is that the pain becomes greater than your goals. And so like if you don't have a ton of clarity and a why behind why you're doing what you do and why you're showing up the way you're showing up, life is just hard. And so sometimes the pain in whatever area you're trying to grow on becomes greater purely because you don't have a why and you don't have a vision of where you want to go. And so that's why a lot of times we might set a New Year's resolution. They don't have a big enough why behind the goal, and they haven't thought about it and envisioned where they want to go. And then they just quit. You don't have to wait till a new year to set this, like to do these things. And so even though we're the end of February, you don't have to wait till next year to set some more intentions. And practical application. And so how can you be like, okay, Aaron, all this sounds great. Vision, write 3 pages. That sounds kind of complex. Okay, well, what I'm going to propose today, and we'll keep building on this, is start simple. I've done like a word of intention in church. I've done a word of intention in different groups. And so that's something Lauren and I have done for a long time. And we started last year doing this with our company. But just pick one word for this season. It could be this quarter, could be this month, could be this year. And just pick a word. And then so to do that, what's worked best for me is just taking 15 minutes in an inspiring space and just writing down, just some area that gives you energy. You can sit by the lake. I like to sit by water, or I like to be in a big inspiring space, like with good, true, and beautiful things. Old architecture is cool. Just some history, because all that history, or even buildings that are beautiful, like were built with a vision. Like it didn't just arbitrarily happen. And so that helps me just brainstorm words. And so then just, write down just whatever stream of consciousness, whatever comes to you. Just set a timer and just write. Even if you think it's ridiculous. I was trying to think of some ridiculous examples, but there's no ridiculous example. Just write those words down, okay? Get to the end of 15 minutes. And what I do is I pray and reflect. I'm like, hey, God, what do you want my year to be? And again, not everyone's going to have the same faith that I do. Whatever your intention is, just take time to reflect, brainstorm, ideate, take the time, come up with your list, jot down all the words, then reflect, pray about it, just circle words. If you have to circle 3 and you can't choose between 3, if you can't just pick one immediately, like if one doesn't just jump out and hit you, circle 3, and then you can come back to it in an hour. But you should, within a reasonable period of time, like usually within the first 20 minutes, come up with a word. But max, you could set just within a day. And then that's your word. And again, if it feels overwhelming to have a word for a whole year, because for some people that can feel just super overwhelming, just set it for a week, a month, a quarter. Yeah, just go ahead and set it. I like doing mine for a year. And then 2 sentences defining what that means to you. And so, quick example. So my word for this year in 2026 is scale. And so what that looks like to me is mostly like in the business context. Is I need to meet with the right clients, potential clients, existing clients, the right mentors, the right talent, the right partnerships, the right acquisition targets to get where we want to go based on our vision. Like I have to be in front of the right clients, the right mentors, the right talent, the right strategic partnerships, the right acquisitions. That's how we're going to get there. And so that's where I need to be spending the majority of my time, like meeting with our team, meeting with our clients and asking them where they want to go, what their vision is, do the same stuff and then helping them get there. Meeting with mentors, people that have been through the growth journey in business or they're ahead of me in one area I'm wanting to grow. Talent, just who are future people that might want to be a part of our vision and that their vision can fit within that or be adjacent to that. Just meeting with different people that are future potential talent. And lastly, future partnerships and acquisitions. Scale. My word is scale. And what scale looks like to me this year is meeting with the right clients, mentors, talent, partnerships, acquisition targets. So spending a lot of my time there and knowing I can't do it all on my own, or even with our current team, we're going to have to scale. And so with that, and on that point, like I'm one of the things with the vision is the team that we have today. Just they're amazing, and they embody the values that we have towards continuous improvement and thinking like a scientist, and like some core premises we have, like doing things the go-giver way, and being a servant and focusing on others and really listening to our clients. Like our team just embodies that, and just they execute so well. And so that's a cool thing that's a result of the vision. And then what I'm talking about with scale is just who, as we continue to grow the business, like who else are we going to have that fits that? So just like I was thinking before we brought on our current team, who are the people we're going to add to the current team going forward? So, and then, and so I just encourage you again to go over those steps again, like the exercise. Write down a bunch of words, stream of consciousness, 15 minutes. Don't judge it. Write down anything that comes to you. And then pick one word, let's say for a year, and then define what that means to you. Like it's going to be very different. Like sometimes this isn't at all purely, a lot of times my word and my focus has been more on the family side or the health side, or something other than the business. It just happens to be business this year. And I'm sure scale will show up in other areas of my life as well, because I'm looking for it. And so time is passing either way. Live by design, not by default. And so a lot of you may finish this podcast and not even do this, and not even have a word, not even have an intention. But I want to encourage you again with this. Time is passing either way. Live by design, not by default. Then you get momentum. And then as that momentum builds, then you have more vision on where you want to go. And then you pause, and then it starts over again. So you pause. That's what we did a little bit. That's why I created margin. When our team got together, we paused. And then that created more intentions. And we set intentions for the business. Like I cast vision for that. And then that creates focus. Then you see the opportunities and capitalize on them again. Then you have momentum. Then you have vision. Then you pause. So I encourage you guys, if you already have a word, that's great. Go ahead and send me your word. And then similarly, like if you create a word based on this, just reach out through either HireTruckers.com, or Craddock Holdings, or send me a message on LinkedIn, and just share your word with me, because we don't scale this year if we don't partner like with other people in achieving their vision. So just like I do with my team, I want to partner with them, like anybody working with our team and our clients towards their vision. Also want to partner with you, our audience. I just appreciate your time today. And remember, time is passing either way. Live by design, not by default. Thanks again. That was Aaron Craddock with the HireTruckers podcast. Have a great week.
Thank you for listening to the HireTruckers podcast, the show for fleet executives, HR leaders, and recruiting professionals. I'm your host, Ginger Craddock.
And I'm your host, Aaron Craddock. Each week we share insights, trends, and strategies to help you grow and thrive. If you found value today, please share the show and leave a review. Until next time, keep building top-performing teams.